People are probably already asking, what is the Forever Agent? And we will get into it. And this is going to be a bit of an anthology. Each one of these points could be a 2-hour podcast in and of itself. We decided to come up with a podcast exclusively for the Forever Agent concept. I want to dive into this. We need to not just serve communities, but more importantly, represent communities. Sounds like political talk. What do you mean by that?
Well, that's the wonderful thing about it, is that it is political talk. In my role in research and development, I not only research very forensically the entire real estate industry, I research other industries and other consumer-facing entities. And one of the most prominent consumer-facing entities would be the politicians. Of note is that something like 95% or more of Congress people get reelected each 4 years. Now, these Congress people, they are, it was 4 or 6 years, I forget, but they get reelected on every term. Right. Now, when Congress is polled, at times 10, 15, 20% of, only 10, 15, 20% of the public respects Congress in general. Why then do over 95, and one time it was almost up to 99%? There's no loyalty gap there. Why don't Congress people, why aren't they beset with the real estate industry loyalty gap? Here's why. Because they don't serve communities as much as they represent communities. Now, what's the difference? There's not a fiduciary difference, because politicians don't have a fiduciary responsibility to your community. If they want to put a cell phone tower in, you may hate it because they're not representing you, but they're serving. They're representing the community. They're not serving, is what I'm saying. Okay, right. And so I looked up the definition of representation, and one of the classic definitions is representation means or can be defined as telling a story. Now, over the last 7 to 10 years, the concept of being a storyteller has captured the imagination of our whole industry.
Yes, it has.
You can't go anywhere without people either talking about what's your why, or you've got to be a storyteller, or I don't sell real estate, I sell lifestyle. That's been, if there was a word cloud, that's what we're dealing with in today's marketplace, right? But only a realtor can represent a community. Other adults can serve the community. I can own a bakery. We just went to the coffee shop. The owners of the coffee shop can also work on the July 4th parade. They could work in a soup kitchen. They could donate blood at the Red Cross Center. Everybody can serve the community. Only a realtor can represent the community, because only a realtor can be the storyteller of the community. But what's happening is that with the advent of video and the greater emergence of video, and when you couple the emergence of video with social media metrics that you should keep videos under 2 minutes or 90 seconds or whatever, 90 seconds doesn't give you enough time to capture Bel Air. See, no one can capture Bel Air. You can capture a snippet of it. So what we have is that we have a lot of realtors who are very wise to do this, pumping a lot of videos that also leverage them, that showcase them. But that's something that doesn't capture the imagination, and it doesn't tell the entire community that you are the spokesperson. And here's the other thing about, so that's representing as the storyteller. Even the mayor doesn't know the schools, the neighborhoods. In fact, I may not be right, but I'm convinced, Andrew, that most realtors will know more about their town than any home in their town. You know more about Bel Air, Andrew, than you'll ever know about any home you're putting on the market. That's the greatest untapped knowledge, experiential knowledge and wisdom that must be packaged and brought out to the community. So when people go to the community and say, which realtor in Bel Air does the best job of representing the entire town, it's you, Andrew. But the only way you're going to represent, you've got to understand, the only way we have access to people is through their concerns. So if you're strategic and at the macro level versus the micro level, you ask yourself this question: what is the common thread that every homeowner in Bel Air has in common? And the answer is quite simple. They all want their home values to go up. Is there a correlation between the perception of their town and the home values?
Absolutely.
Of course there is. That's why we've got to help more people do world-class videos, maybe 7 to 10 minutes, that basically become the storyteller of that town in such a powerful way that you'd want to rent out the local movie theater when they open up and showcase it to the town. So that's representing is storytelling. Serving is volunteering. People can never do enough. Doing a lot for charities, the Red Cross, networking, that's serving the community. Because over the years, I've seen thousands of realtors. When I ran Realtor.com, I checked out everybody's website. Thousands of realtors would say, serving the community for 20 years. Very seldom would I don't remember ever seeing one realtor say, representing the community for 20 years. That's what politicians do, representing the community.
I've heard you say in the past, language is the clothing of ideas. And this is not just semantics. That is so powerful. So what we've covered so far is going from micro to macro, psychology to sociology, going from just serving, because look, everybody serves. Of course you got to serve. You got to play your part. But if you want to be a forever agent, and again, that's what this is about, you got to figure out how to represent places. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, well, I do represent Canton, the neighborhood in Baltimore we were at the last few days. I represent Brewers Hill. I sure as heck represent Bel Air. I was born and raised here, moved back, got 3 kids here. I'm going to live here forever. So that's what I'm saying. You go deep with this stuff. Give it the time of day, because it's going to elevate you as an agent that doesn't have past clients but has forever clients. And we're going to come back to that.
Andrew, before we move on, let me also say this.
Sure.
The residents of Bel Air do not need Andrew Undem to serve their community. They'd love you to. Join in hundreds of others.
Right.
Every homeowner needs you to represent the community. And for example, if the Chamber of Commerce came to you and said, it's like I always say, Alan, how are you different? Rather than focus how I'm different, I'd rather focus how we have to make your property different.
Right.
I don't compete with other agents here in town, but your home competes. I actually cooperate, but your home doesn't cooperate. But not only does your home compete against other towns, Bel Air competes against other towns. So the way that I'm different is how we're going to make both your home different and distinctive and the community. And so if the mayor of town came to you and said, Andrew, you're charismatic, you've lived here all your life, you're a natural spokesperson, who better would like to pay you, it wouldn't be enough for you, would like to pay you $100,000 a year to be the director of lifestyles promotion in this town, do you think you'd do a world-class video? Of course you would.
Right.
But many realtors are too busy just doing snippets, a little neighborhood, and they've got to be all over it. God bless them. And that's why I get 60 likes. No, there might be 5,000 homeowners. You've got to get 50,000. You've got to get 5,000 loves. And you're only going to do that if you represent the community with a world-class video.
Well, you know what they're too busy doing? They're too busy worrying, hey, he leaned in. Should I lean in? Hey, did I lean back? He giggled. Yeah. Do I start giggling now? Matching and hearing?
You're sounding like a D here. You're sounding like a D here.
Well, hey, I hope you go back and rewind that, because that's one of about, there's the list is so long of what we call Dalton's distinctive dialogues, and we own them at Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. Thank God we do. But that's a powerful line. I've been using it. Hey, I don't compete with other realtors. I actually cooperate with them.
Exactly.
That's true. We're cooperating brokers. Everyone understands that in concept, but your house competes with other homes. And oh, by the way, your town competes with other towns. So instead of focusing on how I'm different, let's focus on how we can make sure your house and how we showcase the home's different. That's brilliant. Out of all the marketing proposals and listing presentations people have given, it's astronomically low, the amount of people who flip the script like that. And here's what every good salesperson knows. It goes way beyond the pop psychology NLP bullshit, okay? It's who's asking the right questions, who's actively listening. Actively listening.
Exactly.
And serving needs, because the only way to access people is through their concerns.
Absolutely.
All right, so I got to go to another point. You ready?
Yep.
I love that one, by the way. Serving versus representing. That's a core foundational principle.
And by the way, and one other added dimension to this is this. The real estate industry is obsessed with how it's different. How many times you hear the word differentiation in our industry?
Every day.
We're not equally devoted to how the consumer has to be different. Their home has to be different. And that's a tragedy, because that's really where the value is if you can let people know that you're focused on what makes their home different versus trying to defend what you're different, how you're different.
Right. It goes from, you're not presenting, you're collaborating. We need to be collaborating with our clients. We're a team, we're a partnership.
Exactly.
It's not just me dancing for you the whole time. Why am I different? Why am I different? So I love this term. You got all the right terms that kind of make you laugh and you realize, hey, this isn't a joke. This is a real deal. Why do we need to evolve from search engine optimization, SEO, for those in the audience, evolve from search engine optimization to seek engine optimization?
Well, first of all, I respectfully caution you, Andrew, not to ever minimize any of these concepts to just their words. Okay. Because again, language is the clothing of ideas. There's years of thoughts and strategic thought that led to the words, okay? And in terms of search engine optimization, you can imagine, as the former CEO of Realtor.com, that was a concept that was continually in my lexicon and within my strategic purview. But here's the challenge right now. Last year alone, in 2021, there were you can Google this, there were $40 billion spent on social media. There's 1.7 billion websites. There's 7.8 billion residents on the planet. Billions of dollars are literally being invested to make sure that consumers will not find you, because they're being intercepted by larger scale companies. So you have to pay a referral, or what I referred to in my video, Say No to Real Estate Tariffs, a tariff. So that's a lot to do with search engine optimization. And I used to have search engine companies come visit me when I was CEO of Realtor.com, and they'd say, Mr. Dalton, we'd like to talk about search engine optimization strategies with you. So the first thing I'd always do is I'd bring them to my laptop. I said, well, let's search for you. Let's see where your company comes up. Your company doesn't even come up on the first page when I say SEO companies. Why would I ever listen to you when you can't even have your own company come up? Because it's very difficult to come up first other than in paid results, because you're competing with thousands of algorithmic scientists at Google. And so because of that, no one can dominate what is called search engine optimization, but you can dominate in seek engine optimization. So seek engine is using technologies, for example, like Chalk Digital and others, emails, direct mail, even social media platforms, to be more proactive, because social media and search engine has become almost like the modern day version of what used to be called floor time,
right?
Where people are waiting for business to come to them. So that could be a separate podcast for an hour someday of all the different ways that somebody can use technology to seek business, as opposed to assuming that people are going to go to your website. Now, people will go to your website because they get to know you, to validate, almost like a business card. But for example, when I was, again, with Realtor.com, I used to visit large brokers, and they were very proud of their website.
Right.
I say, in fact, you don't realize how great your website is. Do you realize that according to the rankings, that your website is ranked at 10,542nd? Isn't that great? Your website is at 10,000. And that's one of the top real estate brokerage websites. Now, our website, we're at 47. Okay, so maybe you'd like to have us take some traffic and send them over to you. But the point is that no one's going to win the website. No one's going to win the search engine optimization game, Andrew. And no one's going to dominate in search engine optimization. But you can dominate seek engine, because it's identifiable where homes live.